All right, Ms. Wright and Anthony, this is going to hopefully help you with getting this penguin done while I'm away. So right now we're in AutoCAD. I'll talk to Ms. Wright this morning about some of the toggles and shortcuts for this. But what we're essentially going to be doing is tracing this penguin. So what we're going to need to use is the line tool, which is up here in the left, and then down below in the pop out, one of the spline tools. So a few things about AutoCAD. Anytime you get into a command down here in your command line, it'll say something. To get out of everything, you just hit the escape key and that'll take you back to being a no command, ready to start from scratch again. If you make a mistake, Control Z is the shortcut for undo. You could also hit the arrow up top here, and that'll also help you with the undo button. So if I needed to trace this thing, the first thing I want to make sure is that my ortho mode is off and I don't want to have polar on either. So neither of these should be toggled on, which would be blue. And then the only one I really want on is going to be this object snap. So when I draw, if I'm going to do a line, I'll click up here and click the line command. It's going to say specify first point. All that means is I'm literally going to trace right along the line that I want to click. So all I'm going to do is do this back triangle here. So click, click. And when I come back up, that snap right there, that square, that pops on because of this object snap button. So that I can click right on. Now that I'm done drawing those lines, I can either hit enter, escape, or spacebar. They'll all do the same thing for me. So I can do lines again with some of the hockey stick here, but then the rest of this guy is going to be drawn with the spline command. So the spline command, I have spline fit or spline CV. They both do the same thing in that they draw essentially a curved line. The only difference is that the one here, what's up, Mike, follows different control points. So when you use that, what's up? Getting ready to leave for our conference. When I use the spline CV control vertices, when I click that, you'll see that it pivots around where I've clicked. When I'm done placing my last point, I can hit enter. You can see that I've got a curved line. If I select it by clicking on it, it'll give me my handles back. And at that point, I can grab them and adjust different shapes and sizes, or I can move the endpoint as well. If I don't want to select it, hit escape. If I want to delete it, select it, and then hit the delete key. So they both do the same thing. They just function a little differently. I like to use the spline fit. And all I'm going to do is start down here and slowly click around, kind of place points where I want this guy to lock onto. If you notice it's snapped here, that's because I still have object snap on down at the bottom. So I'm going to hit Control Z, turn that off so it doesn't want to snap to any preset points. And then all I'm going to do is come up and keep following around on the very outline of this little penguin here. At any point, if I wanted to, I could stop, but I'm going to keep going up till the glove here. So if I wanted to stop, I would place my last point and then I would hit the enter key. That's now given me my first spline. At this point, I can select it, and now I can grab these little handles, click and just drag, and that'll allow me to follow this shape a little bit more. If I wanted to add one, maybe I forgot one up here. If I hover over a point and wait a second, it'll give me up this flyout menu. I can hit add point. Then I can place a new point right there. And then I can come back in and adjust as I need to make that a little bit nicer. To check it out a little bit more, I can hit the escape key, see how I'm following. Maybe here, I need to bring that back in a little bit. Once again, if I needed to, again, I could always hover over this, at a fit point, pop a new one in there to follow that a little bit nicer. Now, if I want to do this beak, this would be basically lines. So what I could do now is I want to use object snap again because that'll allow me to start right on that endpoint. So I'm going to hit object snap, click on the line tool, click to start because it'll allow me to snap right on there. Once again, that green box, come back in, click, click. Maybe at this point I want to use the spline command, so I hit escape to get out of the line. Select my spline again, and now at this point, object snap on to start it. and then I'm just going to work my way around. If I misplace a point, I can hit Control Z, come back in, and work my way back around. It's best if you have like one spline for each portion. I could always do the whole outline as one, but if I wanted to work up to the glove, maybe hit enter to enter my spline. Now I could come in and do over top of the glove and maybe the leg, but you don't want to make like 15 different splines here. To zoom in and zoom out, I forgot to go over that in the beginning. I'll tell Miss Wright when I see her. Zoom out is to roll the mouse wheel backwards. Zoom in is to roll it forwards. And if I want to see everything, if I double click the mouse wheel real quick, that'll allow me to zoom extents. So all you're going to be doing is basically using the spline command or line command to trace over this little guy. The eyeballs here, same thing. I could just go line. I could just draw this one in here, bring it over. If I wanted to, I could even make both of them at once. I'll show you an extra command here. Close that. I'm going to come back and do my spline fit now. If my green box pops up, it's going to snap there. So I need to turn that command off, which is the object snap. And then I'm going to come up here, trace the eye. I'll make that fit a little bit more. Now I don't want the line sticking past here, so I'm going to hit TR on the keyboard, and then hit spacebar once and then twice. And now I can click to trim any extra space. Okay, so that was the trim command. That was TR, spacebar twice, and that will allow you to trim things that are sticking past. Like if this line was sticking past here, I could trim that back. Make sure you save this thing, and then we'll look at it when we get back. All right, good luck.